479 before Christ, Plataea, Boeotia. The Persian army had not come to raid Greece. It had come to finish it. Athens had already burned. Thermopylae had already fallen. And even after the Greek victory at Salamis, one terrifying truth remained. Persia was still there. Xerxes had returned to Asia, but he had left behind a powerful army under his general Mardonius. His mission was simple: break the Greek alliance, crush the last resistance, and turn Greece into a province of the Persian Empire. For months, fear spread across the Greek world. Cities hesitated. Alliances cracked. Athens was threatened again. Sparta waited. And every Greek city knew the same thing. If they failed now, everything they had survived before would mean nothing. This is the story of the Battle of Plataea, the final Persian defeat in mainland Greece. Persia remains. After Salamis, many Greeks believed the worst was over, but naval victory had not destroyed the Persian army. Mardonius still commanded a dangerous force in Greece. Ancient sources give enormous numbers, and modern historians debate them. But for the Greeks, the reality was clear. Persia still had enough power to threaten their world. Mardonius was not reckless. He knew Greece was divided. Sparta and Athens had different priorities. Smaller cities feared revenge. Some had already submitted to Persia. So before he tried to destroy Athens by force, he tried to separate it from the alliance. He offered peace, land, favor from the Persian king. If Athens accepted, Sparta would stand almost alone. But Athens refused. Even after seeing its city burned, even after losing homes and temples, Athens would not surrender its independence. Now Sparta could no longer wait. For once, Greece had to move together. Not perfectly, not without suspicion, but enough. The Greek alliance marches. The Greek army that marched toward Plataea was not one nation. It was a fragile alliance of city-states: Spartans, Athenians, Tegeans, Corinthians, Megarians, Plataeans, and many others. Each city had its own pride, its own fears, and its own reasons to distrust the rest. But now they faced something larger than rivalry. If Mardonius won, Greece would not simply lose a battle, it could lose its future. The commander of the Greek force was Pausanias, a Spartan regent, leading one of the most important armies Greece had ever assembled. Across from him stood Mardonius, the Persian general left behind to complete Xerxes' mission. One man carried the hope of the alliance. The other carried the unfinished dream of empire. And between them lay the plain of Plataea, two ways of war. This was not just a battle between two armies. It was a collision between two ways of understanding war. The Persians were dangerous because they were flexible. Cavalry could harass the enemy. Archers could weaken formations from a distance. Light troops could move quickly. Their army was built for pressure, movement, and scale. The Greeks were different. A hoplite was not made for speed. He was made for impact. Heavy shield, long spear, bronze helmet, armor, and beside him, another man holding the line. In open terrain, Persian cavalry could be deadly, but in close combat, if the Greeks reached the enemy with their shield wall intact, the battle changed. Persian mobility against Greek weight, arrows against armor, empire against city-state. And the question became simple. Could the Greeks survive long enough to force the fight they wanted? Mardonius squeezes the Greeks. At first, neither side rushed into full battle. The Greeks held stronger ground near the hills. Mardonius wanted them in open terrain, where his cavalry could punish them. So he began to squeeze. Persian horsemen attacked supply lines. They harassed the Greek positions. They made water and food harder to reach. An army can be brave. It can be disciplined. But without water, courage begins to crack. The Greek position became harder to hold, and then came the decision that nearly destroyed them. They would move during the night. The plan was meant to improve their position. Instead, in darkness, confusion spread. Units moved at different times. Some misunderstood orders. Others became separated. The Greek line, once organized, began to scatter. To Mardonius, it looked like one thing: retreat. And that was the moment he had been waiting for: the Persian attack. At dawn, Mardonius ordered the attack. The Persians advanced, believing the Greeks were breaking. What had been a careful standoff became a desperate fight. The Spartans and Tegeans found themselves under heavy pressure. Persian troops fired arrows. Cavalry moved around them. The attack was meant to finish the Greeks before they could reform. For a moment, the danger was real. The alliance was scattered. The battlefield was confused, and if the Greek right broke, the entire army could collapse. But the Spartans and Tegeans held. Shield beside shield, spear forward, step by step, they absorbed the pressure. Then they advanced. The Persians fought fiercely. Some dropped their bows and closed in with courage. But at close range, the hoplite wall became terrifying. The Greeks pushed forward with heavy shields and long spears. The Persian line strained, then bent, then began to break. The death of Mardonius. Mardonius was not far away from danger. Ancient accounts place him near the center of the fighting, surrounded by elite troops. As long as he lived, the Persian army still had a commander, a symbol, and a reason to continue. But then everything changed. Mardonius was killed, and with his death, the heart of the Persian army began to fail. Command weakened, confidence collapsed. The army that had threatened Greece for years suddenly lost its center. Some Persian forces kept fighting. Others withdrew toward their fortified camp. But momentum had shifted completely. What began as a Persian attack had become a Persian disaster. The Greeks did not simply survive the attack. They broke it. The battle spreads. But Plataea was not only Greeks against Persians. That is what made the battle more painful. Some Greeks fought on Persia's side. The Athenians faced fierce resistance, especially from Theban forces aligned with the Persians. This was the darker truth of the war. Greece was not united by nature. It was united by danger, and even then, not completely. But as the Persian center collapsed, the wider battle turned. The Greek allies pushed forward. Persian forces retreated. The fortified camp became the last hope for survivors. But the invasion had already lost its commander, its momentum, and its confidence. By the end of the day, the result was clear. The Persian army had been broken. Mardonius was dead. And the dream of conquering mainland Greece was over. Why Plataea mattered. Plataea does not have the narrow heroism of Thermopylae. It does not have the dramatic sea battle of Salamis. But strategically, it may have been the most decisive of them all. Thermopylae showed Persia that Greeks could resist. Salamis saved Greece at sea. But Plataea destroyed the last great Persian army left on Greek soil. After this, Persia would never again come so close to conquering mainland Greece. The victory changed Greek confidence forever. Sparta had proven its power on land, Athens had survived destruction and remained central to the alliance, and the Greek city-states had shown that, when pushed to the edge, they could stand against an empire far larger than themselves. But the victory carried a warning, too. The Greeks had won together. They would not stay together. The alliance that would break. Plataea was both an ending and a beginning. It ended the Persian invasion, but it began a new chapter in Greek history. Athens would grow more powerful. Sparta would grow more suspicious. The alliance that defeated Persia would slowly become a rivalry. And that rivalry would one day explode into the Peloponnesian War. So the victory at Plataea was not a simple, happy ending. It was a turning point. Greece had survived the empire outside its walls, but soon it would have to survive the conflict inside its own world. The Battle of Plataea reminds us that history is not shaped only by famous last stands or legendary speeches. Sometimes it is shaped by exhaustion, by fear, by confusion in the night, by one commander seeing retreat when he was actually seeing opportunity for his enemies. Mardonius thought the Greeks were breaking. Instead, he had pushed them into the battle that would destroy him. And on the plain of Plataea, the Persian Empire learned that Greece could bend, burn, argue, and bleed, but still refuse to break. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Bellum Insights for more cinematic history, ancient wars, and forgotten battles that changed the world. Leave a like and comment below. Was Plataea more important than Thermopylae and Salamis? And watch the next video, where another battle decides the fate of an entire civilization in a single day.